Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. Wow, this fight, from beginning to end, we all knew what we were going to get. Fireworks, baby. Both of these men brought it. Chandler, I knew early on, was going to be the more dangerous guy. He hurt Poirier super early. I think there was some kind of a headbutt in that transition. Dustin and I actually spoke about that at his event at the Brooklyn Brewery last night, and I don't remember seeing it. And again, I was a little lit, but when you're watching cage side, sometimes you're watching just the cage, and I didn't see that part. So, but on the TV, you might see it a little bit more clear. Like, oh, that's clearly a headbutt that caused him to retreat a bit. And he said right when he covered up on the cage and then he got the first takedown, he said that's when it happened. Like right before that, it hurt him. It was like that was the main thing that hurt him in that fight. So I don't know if he hurt him from early on. I'm just watching and breaking down what I saw. And I saw Chandler hurt him. And from there, he got the takedown, big takedown. Chandler using wrestling, which was very, very surprising. I didn't think we'd ever see the day of that. I was like, hell must have froze over. But smart on his part. Very back and forth first round. And then the second round, I thought Poirier won the first round still, because even when he got up, he got back to work, and I thought he did more damage. And then you get the second round. Iron Mike comes back. He gets a big takedown, and then he gets pretty much a whole round of control time. There's some face gouging. Him putting his fingers in Poirier's mouth, pulling his face open, trying to get the choke. Him on top bleeding. It looked like he was bleeding the blood into Dustin's mouth and face. It was just like, oh, Chandler, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? This is disgusting. But it was a fight game. You're in the heat of the moment. Sometimes you do some strange shit that you never think that you would ever do, especially when you're busted up and bleeding and you're just in a position where you're like, I don't know, man. It's a strange game. Like, these emotions, they take over sometimes. And when you're in the zone, you do some things that you never think that you would ever do, because it's almost like it is like a life or death type of situation. Obviously, you're not going to die with the ref there. He's going to stop the fight at some point, because these refs are at least, I don't say at least, they have a lot of experience, more so than others. So they would know when to step in to not allow that to happen. Post-fight, some different story, but we're talking about in the fight. Like, it feels like it's life or death. So when you're in there, you do things that might be beside you on a regular day, and then somebody could sit you down and go, what were you thinking right here? And you could just be like, I don't even remember even doing that. That was just a different mode that I was in. And that's what happens, man. You zone out. You go to a different place. You have to go to a different place so that you can go out there and put on your best performance so that you can get your hand raised. That second round was all Michael Chandler. There wasn't much to really discuss with that, but it lets you wonder, Chandler, why don't you use your wrestling more often, man? You don't always have to entertain, which now I'm going to segue into that third round. He uses wrestling. He got a big shot, took Poirier over his head, which he didn't need to do, to put on a big show in the impact of the takedown. Poirier reverses him. That reminds me of Jared Brookings versus, what's that guy's name? Jose Torres, I think his name is. Shorty Torres. Where I think he picks him up, he goes to take him down, and he rolls him in the middle of the air. Guys, look this up. He knocks himself out. He goes for a Matt Hughes-like takedown. As he goes to slam him, he gets rotated in the air because he jumps. He gets rotated in the air, lands on his head, gets knocked out from his own takedown. Obviously, the guy reversed him, but it's his own takedown. The impact, the speed, the height of the takedown, the force gets rolled, and everything that he was trying to do to his opponent, it now lands on his head first, knocks out cold. And that's kind of what that was with Chandler. Trying to do that, I get it. You want to entertain. You're here for a good time, not a long time. We all get it. We understand. But in that third round, when all you need to do is get a takedown, maybe you lay on him again and control the position like you did in the second round, maybe. I don't know. I think that part was a little bit of a brain fart. I think it was a little short-sighted or an in-the-moment decision where it's like, okay, I got him right where I want him again. So let's and it kind of reminds me of my fight with Jan, where I jumped on his back in the fourth round after I took him down, and I tried to do too much. I think Chandler just did too much. And maybe he would have gotten reversed anyway on the ground. We don't know what that third round would have looked like if he did just get an easier takedown and just settled into position. or maybe he gets caught in a submission. We don't know. But he did too much, and guess what? Dustin Poirier, he capitalized on it. He's a dog. He finds his openings. He finds a way to win, and that's exactly what he did. So shout out to Dustin for finding a way to win. He did everything that he needed to do, got the job done, and from there, that third round, he was able to put it on him until he was able to get on top and then find his way to victory, getting a submission, and he got Michael Chandler out of there. And it was a very fun fight for as long as it lasted. I'd watch that every weekend if I could, but obviously we can't do that. But that's how good those two guys are. Very fun to watch. They are must-watch TV. Shout out Dustin again. Thanks for the invite, for having my fiance Rebecca and I down with you and your wife Jolie over at the Brooklyn Brewery for, I don't even know exactly what it was. I think it was a hot sauce party is what they dubbed the name. And from there, they had the hot sauce. They had his bourbon, rare stash, which was actually really good. He said each barrel that they use to distill to make and produce the bourbon is different. Wow. I never knew of anything like that. So the one bottle was different from the second bottle. So I took a shot of one, smooth. Took a shot of the other one, smooth. And I was like, dude, what the heck is going on? And then he broke it down to me and was like, yeah, every one of these are different, like a little bit slightly of, I don't know if a different taste. I think that's what he said, like a different taste, but they're all brewed from the cask. I don't know the terminology. I'm still trying to learn what's what, like the cask or the barrel. Like they're all different, right? So shout out to you guys for having us down, and much appreciated. I do want to say this next one, Heartbreaker, Frankie Edgar, Chris Gutierrez.